Hey, everybody. Hello, Las Vegas. Jonathan Scott with Vegas Nonstop. Yep, it's Friday again, everybody. Time for another rollicking weekend in the city of fun. And I'm here to host it for you. As kind of semi-regular, we've got Rob Misch in studio. Rob, what's going on? How are you?
I'm great. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. And we've got Amal Shah, the Shah of sports.
I don't know about that, but I appreciate it. How's everything going, Jonathan?
Living the dream, but I'm not sure whose. This is like Groundhog Day. Kimberly Miles, G. Eric Miles, miles to go. I was going to say miles from nowhere. Cat Stevens. How are you guys doing?
I'm awesome. Kimberly Miles, lots of smiles. Just left the Palazzo and watched the swimsuit competition.
I know you're going to get your plugs right away. You're not going to
never miss an opportunity.
And the funny thing is, we don't have an Asian anywhere. The closest we've got is Amal, and he's East Indian.
Well, technically, it is on the continent of Asia.
That's
If you want to be technical about it,
right.
I call it
technical.
We got the insurance guys, Jim and Chris, here from 360 Insurance. They're going to be joining us, so we've got lots to talk about, lots to go on. But our main topic today, we've got a topic. Accountability.
I love when that happens.
Accountability and responsibility. And Antonio's streaming us on vegasnonstop.com through the miracle of technology and Google, I think, right? Google? Is that how we're doing all this?
Yeah.
Those Google guys.
If I known he was going to stream us, I would have put on more makeup.
Oh, you and I are your shirt.
Well, you look tan.
Well, fortunately for me, I don't pay as much as other people for tan.
It's the Asianness.
It was a gift. I was given it from birth.
I would love to go to India with you.
We're
just to ride the elephants. All right. So accountability, responsibility. But first off, we're going to talk a little bit about sports. Bears are playing the Packers. Notice I didn't say Packers are playing the Bears. I said the Bears are playing the Packers.
With every right, you have to say that.
I know. How about last week's Bear game? Was that amazing? That was a nail biter down to the end, Amal.
Oh, that was unbelievable. You know what? The Bears, they've been doing very well. Going on the road back-to-back weeks, first at San Francisco, then, transatlantic flight to New York, play on Monday night. Great wins both times.
Amazing. And nobody knows who the players are. They're like second and third string players.
Boy, the defense is stout, and I am stunned that the Packers are favored this
in
weekend.
Chicago.
Absolutely stunned. I mean, I know that the public can come in and bet thousands and millions and whatever they want to do and alter the line. But to me, if I had three homes, I'd put all three mortgages on Chicago plus 105.
Oh.
And that's,
and we've talked about this theory before about taking the home dogs and teasing it.
absolutely, yeah. I think they're what, point and a half right now.
Yeah.
So you.
So it's not three.
No, it's come down. The line's come down. The action's been coming in on Chicago, but if you tease it plus 6.5, you're getting over a touchdown. And this is a game that traditionally is tight. If you remember the game last year where Rodgers hit Randall Cobb late in the game that put Green Bay in the playoffs, this is going to be a game that's really going to come down to whoever's got the ball last or whichever defense can make a play.
I don't think so. I think the Bears are going to win by 20. I think this is going to be such a blowout.
Really?
I know he's 1-9 against Rodgers' lifetime, but let's just throw that out because I think this changes everything. I think Green Bay's defense is so horrible. Clay Matthews is questionable, so even if he plays, he won't be 100%. The offensive line in Green Bay is horrible. I think this is when Chicago fans will come home to roost.
If Rob is giving 19, I'm going to put my liver on eBay after the show. Whatever I get, I'm going to push all in.
18.5?
I'll take it.
18.5. Oh, my God. That was a nail biter. And Bears-Packers are always good. And it's always fun to watch the Bears and Packers. And if I was back there, I'd be going to Soldier Field. Not Soldiers, but Soldier Field. Okay, the other game you're looking at is Saints and Cowboys. How about them Cowboys?
It's a great game. You've got a big team, America's team, the Dallas Cowboys, who are surprisingly 2-1. But then again, let's not get ahead of ourselves. They've beaten Tennessee and the St. Louis Rams. Not exactly anyone's Super Bowl picks.
No.
But the Saints are struggling out of gate. They're 1-2. They had a bad loss at Cleveland. Granted, winning on the road in the National Football League is hard. But the Saints really need this game. But it's going to be a tough game on the road.
I just same situation as the Packers. It's so odd. Saints are favored in Dallas. I know Dallas's defense is very questionable, but what they have is the weapon of all weapons, DeMarco, Vegas, Flash, Murray. They can give it to him, and he can pound out minutes. And they were down 21 last week. And did you notice what they did? They
No.
still kept giving it to DeMarco Murray. So they have so much confidence and faith in him. They're down 21, and they still stick with the run game. And it worked. They pounded it out. They scored, and look who won the game. So Cowboys plus 150 on the money line. Love that one.
So you're taking Cowboys?
Absolutely.
And you're taking Cowboys as well?
No, I've got to square it up and go with the Saints here. You know, I just think that Sean Payton's team needs this game. And, you know, having lived in Dallas for 12 years, I know never trust Jerry Jones's teams.
No.
Unless a guy
I
named
agree
Jimmy
with you.
Johnson's walking through the building.
Eagles, Niners, the other pick of the week that you like. I don't know. Last week the Eagles killed me.
Well, I actually think the San Francisco 49ers should be indicted for fraud.
Yeah.
I mean, this team is absolutely fraudulent. They've actually, if you look at their offense, they've realistically scored 14 points a game average. Not really doing that much, but the Eagles have beaten absolutely nobody. Jacksonville, and they've beaten teams that have beaten Jacksonville. So let's not put the Eagles in the Super Bowl just yet. And I think it's going to be a tough game. It's an important game for the Niners.
I'm going to deviate from that and go to the Colts and Titans. Colts are 3-0. Colts are.
Keep going ahead, Rob.
All right. And
You sports writing author, you.
I'm literal on this one.
Yeah, everybody's betting their vital organs today.
The-
Vegas nonstop.
The Colts are 3-0 against the spread. The Titans are 0-3 against the spread. Colts are right now right about -7. If there's a chance you can get -6.5, that would be pretty stout. But I like both trends to continue. Colts to beat the spread against the Titans.
And you know what? I also agree with him there because of the fact that Jake Locker is probably doubtful for this game. He means as much to the Titans as any quarterback in this league does for their particular team. I know they're a bad team, but he is vital to any kind of success that the Titans may have.
Colts, I've gotten trouble betting on the Colts so far this year.
Well, you know
They
what?
haven't been lucky for me.
Well, Jonathan, you and I watched that Monday night game together, and
Yes,
I have
we
to
did.
tell you, that was not unlucky. It was just bad coaching. You've got a 7-point lead. You've got the greatest clutch kicker of all time standing on your sidelines, and you decide to throw the ball and it's intercepted. That still absolutely shocks me.
I think I was screaming at that point.
I didn't want to say that, but since you did, I would agree.
I think I was screaming. And for those of you listeners that are looking for a great place to watch football, we recommend the Westgate Theater, formerly the LVH, formerly the Hilton, formerly the International, formerly known as Prince. We do it in the showroom, and I'm there every Sunday. The doors open at 9 a.m., and we're starting very early with Stoli Bloody Marys. The way you want to start your Sunday off with football. It's free admission, $2 hot dogs and $1 Miller beer, and great place, 50-foot high-def monitors, concert sound, smoke-free environment. It's all at the Westgate Theater, and I think they've got a new W Pass that they're going to be starting for Westgate, but you go to the players' window and ask them about that. Now, Rob, you want to talk about soccer.
There's a great match on the schedule tomorrow.
Yes, the schedule. There's some controversy that's
Yes,
happening.
there is. If anybody saw what Leicester City did to Man U last week in about 20 minutes, they turned a 3-1 deficit into a 5-3 win, and it could have been a whole lot worse. This Leicester City is they just gel. They've got great drive. They're at Crystal Palace tomorrow. If you want to put a couple of ducats on Leicester City plus 160 on the three-way line, I think you're going to make money.
A couple of pounds.
I was getting ready to say the college football schedule. This is the one weekend if you want to take your girlfriend or significant other out. Tomorrow is the day to do it. We have no top 25 matchups.
Wow.
No really good games on the schedule tomorrow. So if you're ever going to pick a Saturday to miss, this is it.
Okay, well, I don't watch college anyways.
So there
I
you
just
go.
watch the NFL, and that's enough for me. And I've got to talk about my favorite sandwich place in Las Vegas. It's called Great Links Brewhouse Grill, and it's kind of close to Craig and Rancho. And it's all about choices with over 152 possible hot dog and sausage combinations, award-winning grilled burgers, sandwiches, deep-fried pickles. I love those deep-fried pickles. Guy Shields is in studio. Great Links Brewhouse has a wide selection of crafted beers, and if you love comfort food like I do, and I can only go to your restaurant once a week, you know that. You know I'd come more, but if it wasn't for my diet and my waistline,
We're happy to have you every day, and it's about them great choices, Jonathan.
I'm crazy about, I love the Great Linksky is my favorite, the Reuben, pastrami Reuben, but they've got Chicago dogs, Streets of New York dogs, Philly dogs, amazing kielbasa. Military gets a 10% discount and 10% discount on any combo deal of entrees, drink, and side offer. Guy, you're doing the NFL Sunday?
We are at pints of beer, $2.50 during the game. Come in, we'll give you 25% on a
25%.
Chicago dog. We'll give you 25% off when you get that.
But
with your
nothing on the Packer
beer.
dog. No,
But
there is no Packer dog.
We will invent the dog for you, and everything on that menu is merely suggestions. We'll do anything.
Hey, Chris
the way
and Phil
you want.
are happy customers of Great Lakes out there.
Yes.
They don't look like they've missed any. You guys once a week? More than once?
Yeah, yeah.
More than once. So if you feel, you like the feel of a 50s diner and great beer and sandwiches, you're going to love Great Links Brewhouse Grill. Again, on Craig Road, right around Rancho. It's behind the Lowe's, and ask for Guy and try out maybe 150. You don't have to have all 152 choices. Limit yourself to 150.
Yeah, if you must, but sooner or later, we've got guys who are working on the 152 and just about all of them.
I want to work my way through the whole menu. Original root beer.
Yeah, draft root beer. I mean, real draft root beer. We're one of the few places in Vegas that got it.
We're going to take care of some business, take care of a couple of messages, and come right back with Kimberly Miles and Eric Miles. Miles to go. You're listening to Vegas Nonstop on KDAWN 50,000 watts.
Zeppelin 2 playing at the House of Blues tonight. One night only. If you're a Zeppelin fan like I am, I think Zeppelin 2 is probably the best tribute band that's out there. All kinds of things going on. Clint Holmes is performing Georgia on My Mind, the music of Ray Charles at the Venetian through October 29th. Awesome show if you're a Ray Charles fan. Take 6, 10-time Grammy Award winner, Kurt Whalen, Nina Friedot, all at the Venetian. It's called Georgia on My Mind. Saturday, Michelle Johnson and Bill Fain with the music of Carole King and Burt Bacharach at the Ron Dakar Event Center. Kristen Herzenberg, Spellbound Cabaret Jazz at the Smith Center. Also tomorrow night with Martin Kaye and Benjamin Hale from $1 Million Quartet. Lots of stuff going on. Our main topic is accountability, responsibility, and he hosted the Speed TV program 101 Cars You Must Drive. Also a host for America's Worst Driver. He also guest starred on Angel. Alonzo Bowden, are you with us?
I'm here. How you doing?
I'm trying to get excited. That was my excited voice. How are you doing?
Great. And before we start, I will not be held responsible for anything I might say.
Okay. Well, we did the disclaimer before the show. I will be responsible for everything that you say. Tonight and all weekend over at the Tropicana Laugh Factory with our friend Harry.
Yes. It's going to be a great weekend with Patrick Aguirre and Ty Rivera. And we've been having some great shows. So here we go.
I don't know who they am. But I know who you is. And what's funny is I do this thing called serial watching, which is a new thing where I've got the Netflix and I'll watch a whole series. And I started watching Californication. And who did I see?
Yes, sir. I did 4 or 5 episodes of the show in the final season. And I had a great time. Californication was a lot of fun. Duchovny's a great guy.
He seems like he'd be a really kind of cool guy to hang out with.
Yeah, he seems very much like his character on the show, you know?
Yeah, evidently they're divorced now. Tia Leone.
what is that? Life imitates art, or art imitates life?
I don't know, but I want it to be Hank. All I can tell you is I want it to be that guy. I wanted the little black Porsche. And you're a car guy.
Yes, I am. And there's actually a Russo auction going on here this weekend. So I have to be very careful as I walk around the casino to never raise my hand.
Here are some of the vehicles that I've done a little research here. It says Bowden is a car and motorcycle enthusiast in addition to an E92, BMW M3, JCW Mini Cooper. Bowden owns many motorcycles, including a Triumph Rocket 3, a Triumph Speed Triple, a Ducati 1098, a BMW HP2, and a Ducati Multistrada. Formerly owned a Honda CB400F. Just doesn't fit with the rest of them, but I'm sure it's fast. You high-sided your Ducati while racing at Buttonwillow Raceway Park. The crash shattered his scaphoid. What's a scaphoid?
It's a bone in the wrist. And, you know, it's funny because that's on Wikipedia, and they give me much more credit than I deserve. I was riding there. I certainly wasn't racing. But, yeah, I've shattered my scaphoid bone. That's the bone in the wrist that when a doctor hears you shattered your scaphoid, he just looks at you and goes, yeah, this is not going to be good. Yeah. And ultimately, they ended up removing the bone. But the wrist still works. So I'm good. But yeah, I'm a bike and a car. And that, again, that was a little while ago. Now I have a Cadillac. I think I've finally made it as a black man with a Cadillac. You know,
I'm going to turn to our resident black man here. There's a show on TV now called what? Blackicity or
Blackish. Really? I've never.
That's where we've grown.
Really?
The show actually called Blackish.
I have never heard of this. So what channel is it on? What station is it on?
It's on ABC. I actually have a friend who works on it.
A lot of comparisons to Cosby.
Yeah.
Well, I read that Cosby's coming out with a new show.
Really?
Bill Cosby's coming out with a new show about being a grandparent, I think.
Yeah.
And he's playing, I think, tomorrow night also in Las Vegas here at the entertainment capital of North America.
Treasure Island, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I saw Cosby a long time ago, before he was doing the show, The Cosby Show. So it's been a long time since I've seen him actually live. Yeah, but he's...
No problem, Dad.
Yeah, no,
no problem.
He transcends time. So, I mean, but he talks, and a lot of his stuff does talk about accountability and responsibility. He talks about growing up, you know, and that's where we either learn it or not learn it, is in our formative years, you know, because 90% of life is learned behavior. And so you either get a sense of responsibility when, as you're growing up, or you have to learn one. And some people don't have the advantage of having family systems that allow them to learn responsibility for themselves.
Now, when you broke your scaphoid, or however you say it, what accountability did you have for that move?
Well, I broke a bone. I had to go to a doctor. The doctor had to fix it, I guess. The accountability was my deductible.
Which is, we're going to lead into insurance. You see, that segue into insurance. We got insurance guys here tonight. See, it all fits together in some big master plan, doesn't it?
That's right.
Can you talk just a minute about Last Comic Standing? Because I love the show, and then it seems to disappear and then come back, and disappear and come back.
Well, it came back this year. Wanda Sykes bought the show, and she became the executive producer. So it came back this year. You know, I did it back in the original format where we lived together. And the weirdest thing was every week you had to do a challenge and say, I know I'm funnier than.
Yeah, I remember that. Was it Jay Moore originated?
Yeah, Jay was the host. And the weird thing about that is these are friends of yours that you're living with, that you're saying about. So I don't know how many of you in that studio right now, but just imagine looking at each other and saying, I know I'm funnier than you. Okay, I'll see you at dinner. You know, got a little weird, but overall, we had a great time. And the way I described the show to people, if you can imagine having a job where you knew someone was going to get fired every Tuesday, your only goal becomes to not be the guy who gets fired. And I looked up, and there I was at the final round, so I didn't get fired.
Well, that was your accountability.
That was it.
And you know, last season, I love Roseanne, and I was able to interview her here in Las Vegas when she was in the same room that you're playing in tonight. And it was great to see her on that show. But I had to do a Wikipedia on the third judge because I thought it was Ant, but then it wasn't him.
It was Russell Peters.
who's huge in Europe, but I'd never heard of him here in the
Yeah,
States.
it's funny. Here's a funny thing about Russell Peters. He's actually the most famous comic in the world,
Yeah.
but he's not famous in the United States. He's known in the United States,
Yeah,
but around the world, he only plays in arenas.
I thought it was Ant that just wanted to go by his real name.
Yeah, Ant would be very flattered.
Yeah, I had a Wikipedia said this is the most famous comic in the world.
Yeah.
And then I felt like really like I don't know anything. I thought I knew some comics, but I didn't know Russell Peters.
Well, a lot of people didn't, but Russell's a great guy. And, you know, that was a completely different format, the way they did it this year, where the judges just stayed on the whole time and they had coaches for the comics and so on. But Rodman, the guy who won, very funny, and I was very happy for him because I know that feeling, you know. Winning the show is such a great relief. I mean, it's such a huge exhale because you're just like, good, I don't have to do it again. You know, it's an interesting experience being judged by America every week. They don't mind telling you. Want to talk about responsibility? America doesn't mind telling you what they think.
Now, what was the man show that you were doing? It's Good to Be a Man or something. It looked like my friend Chris Abrego was producing
Mind
that.
of a Man.
Mind of a Man.
It's on Game Show Network. That show was huge fun. It was hosted by Dean Delway out of Chicago. But the great thing about that is it's a panel show, two guys and a girl, and the contestants are two women, and they start everything with, we polled 100 men, and the number one answer is blank. And then we would help them come up with answers. And I don't know who wrote those questions, but they had some good ones. One of my favorites, who's the last person you want to be stuck in an elevator with? Your ex, your ex's new man, or your ex's mother?
X. I'm going with X. I'm going with X. G,
Yeah.
who
Yeah, I gotta go with the X.
Got to go with the X.
Yeah.
Alonzo Bowden going to be at the Laugh Factory at the Tropicana tonight, Saturday and Sunday.
Yes, tonight, Saturday, and Sunday. It's going to be a great weekend.
And I've been paid to invite you to the Dirty at 12:30 show.
Yes, I will be there.
Okay, I will be there too, so I'll make sure and say hello to you.
All right, great.
Thank you. Thanks for calling it the great Alonzo Bowden. Woo!
Thanks, Alonzo.
Nice.
Thank you.
I love your enthusiasm.
Yeah. Go back to sleep, will you? And again, accountability. This show is sponsored by TPC HR Payroll Consultants for payroll and HR needs. You've tried the rest. Now work with the best. We want you to give them a call at 702-898-4800.
That's the right. No,
No,
it's 598.
598. It's your writing. My reading, your writing.
You got it right last week.
Supporting local business, 14 years, growing strong. Forget the national brands. Call TPC HR Payroll Consultants. So our topic is accountability and responsibility. Gee, when do accountability and responsibility go hand in hand? Or Kimberly?
Well, I honestly believe from my experiences, when you stand accountable to yourself, they be true to thyself. So, for example, when you do the New Year's resolution, which so many people say, I'm not going to do a New Year's resolution anymore, right? Because I can't keep the commitment to myself. So where does that responsibility lie to yourself? How does that show up to other people in your life? So to me, because of there's a social responsibility as well. So thy be true to thyself, what you do to myself, is how I affect other people. How could it be any better with the outer world when you're not taking care of you? That's the question.
Yeah, well, that is the question, isn't it?
Right.
So Kimberly's the founder of the payroll company, HR, and we know how busy you are and how many tasks you have, and you're juggling to run your business, and their job is to take human resources and payroll functions off your plate so that you can concentrate on doing the work that matters most, catering to your clients and customers and keeping your business profitable. Payroll company HR makes your human resources and payroll functions seamless, challenge-free, meeting all the legal and fiscal responsibilities of payroll, time and attendance, HR issues, workers' compensation, and merchant services. Personalized service to client relations means that they view every client partnership as different and unique. Building business solutions on the real needs of each client, TPC HR Payroll provides the same great personalized service to small, mid-sized, and large businesses alike. For free consultation on your business, give Kimberly Miles a call at the payroll company. 702-598-4800, or visit them on the web at HR. What's the website?
TPCHRpayroll.com.
Jonathan's at Vegas Nonstop. We're going to take a break for some news. Come right back at you. You're listening to KDAWN 720 AM.
Don't you come back no more.
What you say?
Here you go, Jack.
you want to watch some of our show on the computer, you can go to vegasnonstop.com. You can go to YouTube and look for the Vegas Nonstop channel, or you can go to www.kdwn.com. They started the .Vegas a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
There was a story about that in the paper today. Also with us, Chef Guy Shields from Great Links Brewhouse Grill. What haven't I tried?
I think that you're about halfway through.
The 152 choices.
Yeah, you're on like 75.
I'm at 75. I'm at the halfway point.
75.
Yeah.
We got to get you to lean towards some of the more healthy choices on the menu.
That would make Kimberly very happy.
Vegan dogs.
That's right.
You know, and it's you were talking about accountability. You know, and
Yes.
and at Great Links, we love the food. You know, and we love the people that come in for it. We want to give you those choices. It's about great choices. You can choose a burger that's beef. You can choose turkey, vegetarian. It's there. So
What's the vegan? What's the vegan? specialties you have?
Vegan. All of our vegan burger and vegan sausages. We have 4 different vegan sausages.
They're made with tofu.
They are actually made by a company called Tofurky.
Tofurky.
It's a funny name, but a
That's
great
right.
product, and it is vegan. It's a really good product. I think these guys are vegan
Yeah.
and they're used to it. They've had some of the food.
Amal loved it.
I know.
Amal was going on and on
Amal
because he's a
was.
vegan as well.
Yeah,
He
I
was
brought
going
him
on with it.
the vegan bacon cheeseburger.
How could it be a vegan bacon cheeseburger?
Oh,
So
wow.
There's great alternatives out there. You know,
Keep
you're
on around. Yeah, they're really not. Once you try it, you can't really tell the difference because there's a process that it goes through, and everything is seasoning. I mean, if you even take
Right.
tofu, for example, it'll take on the flavor of anything you put into it. The same thing with avocado.
Yeah.
You can make pudding out of avocado,
Pudding?
believe it or not.
Yeah,
Pudding.
That's right.
It's
Isn't that the
amazing.
secret word? Secret.
Drop
Say it
down.
away.
Don't get me
We got the
started.
play. I think we've got tickets. If somebody could get here within a half hour, we've got 2 tickets to give away to the NASCAR truck, courtesy of TPC HR Payroll.
Yeah, good
Couple of
seats too.
tickets to NASCAR on Saturdays, tomorrow night.
Yeah.
And also we want to mention that at the Westgate Hotel and Casino, Rob Garrett is opened as in his Neil Diamond tribute, the King of Diamonds, and that's Wednesday through Sunday in the Shimmer, the 8:30 show. And we wish Rob every success in his Neil Diamond tribute. Let's get into the personal and the professional accountability and responsibility. Does it come from having an emotional buy-in? Is one of the questions. You know, having skin in the game. People always say, "Do you have skin in the game?"
Right. Yeah. No, that's where it starts, because for me, the only difference between, or addition to what Kimberly said earlier about accountability and responsibility is, for me, accountability is your response to your sense of responsibility. And so you have to have a sense of responsibility. And for me, that comes from having some emotional tie-in, some skin in the game, something that I care about in either the situation, the person, whatever it is. And so my response to that would be follow-up, would be if I make a commitment, it's to myself, but the commitment is to myself, but accountability is how it plays itself out. I follow up when I say I'm making an appointment, or if I'm going to have something done by a certain amount of time, then I owe myself to do it the best I can and to accomplish it. And if I know that I can't accomplish it, then I just need to renegotiate with the person that I made the commitment with. And so, but it all has more to do with my commitment and responsibility to myself personally first, and then it grows from there. But that comes from me caring about whatever the situation or the person is, which I have to say, honestly, I didn't do for much of my life because of the way I was raised. I was raised to not trust anyone. I was raised that you can't trust people.
You grew up in Washington, D.C. Gee, I'm shocked. You grew up in D.C. and you were taught to not trust anybody.
Well,
Go figure.
I also grew up in the early 60s, and so I grew up during a time where I was told you can't trust white people. If anything, you cannot trust white people. And so that
the
was
white man going to keep you down.
That's right. He's going to do everything he can to keep you down.
Yeah.
And so, but fortunately for me, my father always told me that it's not just white people. You got to trust people.
Those East Indians.
That's right.
Well, you're not here to defend himself.
Yeah. But you have to trust people on their own merits or what they show you, and not by something arbitrary like the color of their skin.
And it's different for every person. I think the accountability is different. The ones that we hear about are the Paula Deans and the Ray Rice story and the big stories that are in the news, and everybody goes, oh, let's hang them in effigy.
Right.
But you wonder what their personal accountability, and Guy sitting here as well, we spoke about his responsibility, his accountability with the food that he serves.
Absolutely.
He wants to make sure that his kitchen is clean and nobody gets sick on his food. I mean, that's
right. There's a lot to take care of there. Cross-contamination, germs, even pests and getting into a place. So there's a lot to do, all the way from the design of the restaurant to putting the food out.
Well, I see the smile on your face, and I know that you enjoy when people eat in your restaurant and they eat your food and they really enjoy it and come back.
Yeah.
I see it all the time. Every time I'm in, I see you've got your regular customers and they come in because you're putting love and you're putting your soul into that food. All 152 different recipes. But they do go hand in hand, and everybody's emotional tie-in, I think, is different. But those big Paula Dean stories of accountability, yeah, she made a mistake,
right?
And she came on TV and said, "Well, I made a mistake,"
right? And unfortunately, a lot of times people don't come out and make those kinds of statements until their hand is forced. And a lot of that, I believe, comes from the idea or the trickle down effect. There's a trickle down effect that happens, like whatever happens at the top.
Wasn't that Ronald Reagan?
Well,
yeah. Here we go again. Well, mommy. I think she misunderstood him when she said he was trickling down.
Yeah, right.
Well,
even we went back and forth when we first got together because I trust everybody. I let everybody in. And my philosophy is that I'm going to trust you until you give me a reason not to trust you. His is earn my trust. So it was very interesting when we would go back and forth, like, you invite everybody, or how can you just trust that person? Because really, my numbers are really good. My ratios are really clean on the good hits I got. Once in a while, something sneaks in, but with all the positive it's created for me. So think of your paycheck on time. Doctors are late for the babies, right? Are they not all the time? They end up getting a physician's assistant, right? Or when you think about the judges or the attorneys that are late for court all day long, do you think I would still be in business 14 years later if I delivered late paychecks or direct deposit? Absolutely.
So what I've been
not.
saying is that Kimberly is really the business side, and G is more the spiritual side. And G, I find you trying to be more on the business side, and Kimberly, I see you being more on the spiritual side. And this comes to what I'm seeing from all this is the emotional attachment, and so often, like your parents, we're taught to keep our emotions to ourselves and not let anybody see how we feel.
Right.
But instead, show them how you act as an actor.
Right.
You're going to put on a happy face no matter what. And that's
Absolutely.
how we're acting. And then you peel away that onion skin and see what people are thinking. And then if you're a little bit further, you peel the onion skin and you see what they're really feeling. But we don't let on to what we're feeling until we have that trust of that individual to share that.
Or until our hand is forced. You know, and a lot of times it's, and that's what's happening today a lot. And I think it's because of the technology that we have today where news is instantaneous almost. And so now people can't run and hide as long or as quickly or you know, and so all the information comes out now that the tapes were sent to the NFL months ago, you know, and so you can't hide behind, I mean, you can say that you never saw them, but come on.
Yeah, law enforcement on the video. I
Right.
love that. There's accountability and seeing what the people are doing with their power and how that's showing up for you. So, I mean, I think it's really important when you just fess up. People forgive and forget really quickly. It's a 30-second uncomfortable conversation to be accountable.
I still don't think I'd want to be on an elevator with my ex-wife.
Oh my!
I don't care how many 152 sandwiches I would have. I still don't want to get on that elevator.
or my ex-wife's mother.
No. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind my ex-wife's mother. I liked her. Yeah.
Well, I want to ask a quick little question because we have the insurance guys in here, and insurance is really
You wanna
because
just
of
jump
everything
ahead.
touch.
Go ahead.
Well, I do. I'm just gonna.
Go ahead. Take the reins.
Well, I do. I mean,
Take the reins. Go ahead.
I'm looking
I
at
was
these
goofing
insurance
around.
guys.
We can go out for a cup of
Well,
coffee.
They insure
You know,
people who aren't accountable. So I want to ask about some of your insurance.
Okay, well, you're gonna have to share your
I am
microphone
going
and
to.
take
I am.
the other one as I direct, and you go ahead.
Point at me, baby.
Let's
Bossy
start with an
applesauce.
introduction.
That's me, bossy.
Bossy applesauce. I could just call you applesauce.
Yeah, I like
Sometimes I just do applesauce. Jim and Chris from 360 Insurance, and who grew up here?
I did, Jim.
And so you've seen the growth here in Las Vegas, and you've picked this. Did you grow up in insurance?
No, I didn't.
Okay,
My father was in the gaming business for 45 years, and he wanted me to not be in the gaming business. So he wanted me to choose a different field, and so this happened to be the field.
And Kimberly Miles has a question for you about accountability, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, absolutely, because I know from insuring people through deductions on the paycheck and the things I get to deal with when people don't make a payment and then something happens in that time, right?
Right.
So, and they've closed in that window and they weren't insured because the payment check didn't arrive, and you get to see people backpedal on why that didn't happen and all the stories, even though you sent several notices, whether, I'm assuming you do workers' comp.
Oh, yes.
Can you talk about a couple of the insurances you do?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're a full service agency, which means that, hence the name 360, we're a complete insurance market for all insurances and all bonds for business. Everything that you need in a business, everything you need in your personal, for your personal insurances.
So how long have you been in business?
We've been in business for 4 years.
For 4 years.
Yes.
Okay, and you guys came from different firms, or?
Yeah, actually, my partner Chris here was with Allstate for 12 years,
Okay.
and then I was with another agency since 05.
So that's tough. Why would you leave Allstate after building all of that business with an organization and then starting your own?
Well, Allstate's a great company. It paid my bills for a long time, but what happened was it got to be so hard to write business. You know, when you only can write a certain group of people, a niche that they're looking for, it was tough to fit it. And with the brokerage, you know, we have so many companies that we can quote with, and the bottom line is, opens that door up for anything.
We're going to take a short little break and come back with more Vegas Nonstop and find out everything. It's Jim and Chris.
Accountability. Responsibility.
Stay where you is.
You got me running, going out of my mind.
I've got you covered. Thank you to Clyde in the control room for looking. I was looking for an insurance song, and all I came up with was a song from probably the '60s called "I Got You Covered."
There you go.
You didn't hear it, but it was great. 360 Insurance wants the opportunity to earn your trust in business. 360 Insurance executives grew up here in Las Vegas and are also licensed in Utah, Arizona, and California. 360 Insurance will assess your insurance needs and fit you with the most suitable plan to get you to where you need to be, protect your business and your family. Visit them on the web at 360insurance.com or call Jim or Chris, the insurance guys, at 702-251-4000. That's 251-4000. Creating assets is your business, and protecting them
Is ours.
is your business. 360 Insurance. So, fellas, what about accountability? What do you think as far as accountability goes in your industry?
Well, accountability is, the ability to respond to yourself, and the insurance is just a transfer of risk. And if everybody had the opportunity to insure their investment, I'm sure most people would take that opportunity. And that's exactly what insurance does. It basically just provides a security to your assets. And so you obviously pay a small premium and you protect your assets against someone else.
Well, I think it was interesting to just kind of circle back around what we were talking
sure,
about.
go
before
ahead.
we went on there. Yeah, I love this. So saying what you were talking about with Allstate, the reason why you were leaving Allstate was because
The brokerage world just totally opens up the market where you can write business and save people money. The bottom line is take care of the customer and save them.
What's the biggest mistake that you think people make in insuring both the business and the personal?
The biggest mistake is they don't know what they do.
And how do you solve that, Jim?
What we like to do is we take an assessment of everybody of what they have. So we like to assess all their assets and discuss with them what their vulnerabilities are, what the risks are. A lot of times insurance is written, but it's not written correctly. And it's because a lot of times people aren't aware of what they need. And so it's important to have, like when you have an accountant or a lawyer, you need a good insurance agent or agency that knows how to insure you and your business. That is crucial, and that can sink you if you don't.
So how do you find out the right liability insurance? The difference between a small or mid-sized or a large-sized company, is it the same thing where you look at their?
Yeah, we look at the overall portfolio of what their business is about, and we assess what the risks are, what their vulnerabilities are, and kind of go from there. Obviously every business is different, so it's on a per case basis, and then of course we assess that and make a recommendation as to what we feel should protect their vulnerabilities. And that's the key, is where they're vulnerable. And a lot of times they don't think about the vulnerability because they're too busy trying to grow their business. They're not looking at their vulnerabilities. The vulnerability to them is their finances. They need to, make money so that they keep their doors open. They're not looking at these other avenues where we step in and help them.
It's 360 Insurance, 702-251-4000, Kimberly.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, so Keyman Insurance, most business owners that have under 25 employees don't even recognize that there's an insurance for one of their key players, because usually the businesses that I run into, the owner is not in the sales business bringing on the business. They're usually the operational person. So they put in a six-figure person that's bringing in, it's a salary individual, maybe some compensation and commission. So
The key is very important. There's different, obviously, levels of insurance on what the face amount would be, maybe $1 million, whatever. It depends on what how much of an asset that person is to that business. If they're the person that's bringing in and has been at the helm of that ship and is guiding it, and you can fix a dollar amount to it on the amount of businesses that are brought in that this person is bringing in, that's how you can, of course, assess what type of policy you can get, which is usually like a term policy to cover that in the event that that person passes away.
is there a percentage? So if somebody's bringing in 25% of the business of the whole, would that be considered a key man?
It would be. It would be if they have a significant position in that business, or if they're a person that basically the business could possibly fail or have financial hardship because of the loss of that person, is what you have to look at. And what will it take so that you don't sink your business, and to be able to possibly find someone and train someone else in a short period of time
So that would cut. So if somebody gets upset at me, one of my key I like to call him wow man, woman. One of them left, right? And I can get insurance for the 25% of the contribution if they exited.
This is upon death. So if you
clarity's good.
Yes, clarity is good.
Back to my ex-wife in the elevator. What's the
darn,
most?
so I gotta kill him?
Is there a tape?
I was gonna go kill zombies tonight.
Wait a minute, you're gonna order videotapes?
Is there a tape of that elevator?
Let's hope not.
Just kidding.
I was supposed to go kill zombies tonight, but that got called off. What's the most controversial insurance here in Nevada?
That would be probably workers' comp. It's very, very misunderstood as to who needs it and how much and why. And they will basically be
4 minutes.
criminally prosecuted for not having it.
Really?
Yeah. So a lot of times people say, well, if I have a 1099 employee, then I don't need it. That's false. And that will get you in big trouble.
Kimberly knew that.
Yeah.
Well, of course I know. I employ the people for my other clients. So we paid $28,132 people in 2013 in this economy.
But who's counting?
Yeah, I know.
Right.
Accountability. There's accountability.
Accountability at its best.
We're on the
Making a plan.
spiritual side. We're banging the drum.
Yeah, it's
We're
interesting.
the drum bangers, and these guys are working with the
We'll
numbers.
talk about that.
The
Yeah.
bottom line is if the insurance brokerage is not doing their job and they don't know what they're selling, it can hurt the company too. A lot of people think that, I have $70,000 in payroll, I need $70,000 in workers' comp. There's a cap on workers' comp for every employee. And if your workers' comp company is not doing it the right way, you could be throwing a lot of money down the drain.
Now, I have to ask you this. I mean, how emotionally attached do you get to some of your clients?
Very emotional.
We take it very personal. Every person, because we're putting our name on the line. And we want to make sure that when people entrust us with their insurances and looking at their personal financials, for one, that the information stays private, but two, you develop that personal relationship where they're texting you on the weekends or they're contacting you at all hours. And that this is a very large level of trust. And so we become very, very close to our clients. It's a relationship business. So we have a very good relationship with all of our clients.
Creating assets, that's their business. Protecting them, protecting your assets. 360 Insurance looks out for your best interest, whether it's personal insurance, business insurance. Do you have a question?
No, I didn't. I would just like the asset part.
You're a pain in the asset. 360 Insurance has got you covered with multiple top carriers. They're the insurance guys that fit your needs. Why jeopardize what you've worked so hard to acquire by putting it in the hands of your neighbor's uncle's best friend? I wrote that.
That's right on.
360 Insurance wants the opportunity to earn your trust in business. 360 Insurance executives, they grew up here in Las Vegas, also licensed in Utah, Arizona, and California, and they also eat at Great Links. That's where, as soon as I heard that, 360 Insurance will assess your insurance needs and fit you with the most suitable plan to get you to where you need to be to protect your business and your family. Visit them on the web at 360insurance.com or call the insurance guys, Jim or Chris, at 702-251-4000. That's 251-4000. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
I appreciate you coming on. I think there's a lot of questions for comp thing that they can break the law by not having workman's comp. I didn't know that.
Absolutely.
So give those guys a call again, 251-4000, 360 Insurance. G, you've got a drum circle coming up first
Friday night from 8 to 9:30. I have a drum circle at California Street and Casino Center Drive at that corner during First Friday. It is a fun time. Lots of drumming kids, families. It's a lot of traffic through there, so it's a great time.
MilesToGo.Vegas, right?
Vegas.
Kimberly's going to be at the Miss Asian pageant at the Palazzo.
Yes, I am all weekend. Come and join us tonight at Azure Pool. The pageant's on the Panda Room on Sunday at 2. Very exciting.
Jonathan Scott, like me on Facebook. Send me a tweet at Jonathan Scott LV. Go to VegasNonstop.com. Eat well, party hard. If you see me out there, please stop by and say hello.
Be accountable.
Next Friday,
That's
Vegas
right.
Nonstop. Woo! Eat well and party hard, my friends. See ya.
This is News Talk 720 KDWN, Las Vegas.